Because what do you mean that you went into his private journals you never read when he was alive, and you're using that content?
The NDA made my brother's life and experiences pretty much intellectual property.
He could have asked for help.
Where was you at? Why couldn't he talk to you? Why couldn't he talk to you? Y'all were so close, right?
He doesn't have to just.
No, y'all were so close, right? Why couldn't he talk to you?
I have been trying to release all this anger this whole time. I thought if you would have asked me 6 months ago, I thought I'd release all the anger out.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah, and I'm back again with another video. So as you guys can see here on the screen, we have Steven Twitch Boss, who is the guy that's there with the hat, who unfortunately unalived himself. I believe it was like maybe over a year ago. And then we have his widow, Allison Holker, who obviously he was married to. The two of them created like a brand together. They were both dancers. She was on Dancing with the Stars. He at point was on Dancing with the Stars. You know, he used to work on the Ellen show.
Hi, Twitch.
Hey, hi, Ellen.
How are you feeling right now?
Feeling all of the things, but I think what I'm feeling most of all is grateful.
And the two of them like created this thing during 2020 lockdown, in which they would dance together. They created like this whole family brand on social media. They had the kids involved, stuff like that. And it seemed like everything was all honky-dory, obviously, until it wasn't, right? When the news broke that he, was no longer alive, and that it was, self-inflicted. It caused a lot of uproar, a lot of controversy, but a lot of people were just like, so saddened for obviously the people who would be grieving the situation, which would be his wife and his children. Now, recently, if you guys are unaware, she has decided to come out with a book. Now, in her book, on her book tour, she stated that basically, the reason for her creating this book was so that she can assist people to look for the signs of maybe if their spouse needs help while they're going through, mental health issues, or if there's things that she's overlooked, and also how people can get through the process of grieving their spouse. Now, of course, when people first heard about that, they were completely like, we understand what it is that you're trying to do. We understand the motive. We understand what you're trying to achieve. However, during her press tour, she started to reveal certain information about him that a lot of people felt like was stuff that should not have ever been released to the public.
Steven had addiction problems. I was able to help one, and I wish I could have been that for the other. But it's also not my job to do that.
Now, the main reason why, her talking about the fact that she cleaned out the closet and that they found, some of these hidden things, and that, he did, whatever the case is.
We were cleaning out the closet and picking out an outfit for him for the funeral. And it was a really triggering moment for me because there was a lot of things I discovered in our closet that I did not know existed. And it was very alarming to me to learn that there was so much happening that I had no clue.
And the main reason why that caused a lot of controversy is because a lot of people feel like if he was going through something emotionally and he wrote things down in, his journal or whatever the case is.
He was going through so much and he was hiding so much, and there must have been a lot of shame in that. And he was wrestling with a lot inside himself, and he was trying to self-medicate and cope with all those feelings because he didn't want to put it on anyone because he loved everyone so much.
And you are now exposing that journal to the world. You are basically not keeping his privacy, right? Like, you're not protecting his privacy. You're not protecting his name. You're not protecting his brand. And again, her idea of sharing this information to quote unquote help others is that she wants to use him as a symbol to put it all out there so that maybe if somebody else is possibly in this situation with their spouse, that they can, look through these things or dig or whatever the case is to try to bring this stuff to the surface. My main thought when I saw some of this information going out there and a lot of people sharing their own opinions on social media was, as his wife, I believe that it says a lot if you are married to your spouse for such a long time and they do not feel comfortable coming to you or sharing certain conversations or problems that they have with you. I think that speaks volumes.
From each other. I wish in that part of my life with him that he would have felt comfortable asking for help, wanting to go to therapy, wanting to talk to his friends or loved ones or people he felt comfortable with about what he was really feeling.
In my opinion, I believe that it exposes a lot about their, relationship or the lack thereof. It exposed the fact that maybe, yes, they were married and they were two people who were in a relationship and they appeared happy on social media, but they were obviously two people who were living also different lives under one household. The unit and the portrayal of the unit that the two of them, put out there to the world, obviously that was not the case if he did not even feel comfortable in communicating with you.
I think he was always so strong for everyone. He wanted to continue to be that.
Now, I do also want to say that, as a spouse, especially as a woman, it's very important to create a space that your spouse feels comfortable enough, safe enough, peaceful enough that he can articulate all of his emotions and his feelings with you in any given time, right? There should always be a space that even if it's going to hurt your feelings or if it's something that you're not going to like to hear, that you have the floor open and you are willing, you have both ears open and willing to listen to whatever it is that he has to say. Now, does that mean that there's still not situations where maybe your spouse is unwilling to still share certain things or share certain information with you because maybe they're going through a dark space? Absolutely. Right? There's always going to be the window or the space for that for those things to occur. But in my opinion, you just want to, as a spouse, make sure that you are there with open arms at all times to be able to facilitate whatever it is that he's going to bring to you in a conversation. The reason why I'm saying that is simply because Twitch's brother actually ended up speaking up in regards to the situation and said that she was actually quite the opposite.
He could have asked for
Where
help.
was you at? Why couldn't he talk to you? Why couldn't he talk to you? Y'all were so close, right?
He doesn't have to just.
No, y'all were so close, right? Why couldn't he talk to you?
His mother. It could have been.
Because he had a hell of conversation.
You can say that about.
He had a hell of conversations with me about why he couldn't talk to you.
Now, I got to be honest with you guys. My aim in this conversation is just to let it be known that the person in whom you are married to and you create a life with is the most important decision that you will ever make. It is literally the centerfold of everything that is connected to your life. That's your home life. Okay? So everything else bounces off of that. You can have, kind of a situation at work where you don't have the best time, but if you have peace at home, you have peace. If you have a tumultuous relationship at home and everything is haywire at the house, it doesn't matter what you do anywhere else, you will not be truly happy or have full peace within you. You won't. And, in this situation, just in my personal opinion, based on the way in which she's communicated, based on the things that she said with the taxes.
Ooh, the day after you had to pay his taxes?
The day after my husband's passing, I was immediately having to take meetings about taxes, about contracts that were existing and that he was at breach of contract. It's not stuff that could just go away because he's not with us anymore. It fell on me.
In this just my opinion, I could be wrong, but in my opinion, I believe that she's angry. Okay, I believe that the weird feelings that people are having behind, whatever it is that she's doing, in my personal opinion, I believe that she's angry with him. There was a phone call again with, I think it was a brother or a friend that was released, and this is how she was communicating to the friend about her ex-husband.
You don't think
realize that Stephen left. So when you say
what you mean Stephen left? Hold on, what do you mean Stephen left?
Stephen would want the family to see his kids. He could have stayed.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that.
Yes, no, I'm allowed to.
No, you ain't allowed to say no stupid shit.
Also, the other side of
You ain't allowed to say no stupid shit, man. What you mean he could have stayed?
He could have stayed and been a partner. He could still be helping fathering these children with me.
So with her verbiage, making it known that this was his choice, this was his decision, this is what he did. A lot of people are bashing her for it. Obviously, a lot of people are saying that, she's wicked and she's evil and she's this and she's that. And, just in my very surface level opinion, because I feel like, she's in a certain situation, in a certain wave, and she has to find her way out of that situation, and nobody else can inflict certain things or add certain details to this very touchy situation that we don't know much about. But I feel as though she is upset with him that he decided to make that decision, knowing or not caring about how it could affect everybody else. And I think that there's different levels of grief, right? It's you go through like the disbelief, you do go through the anger part, then you get over the anger and you go to understanding. I believe that she is in this anger part, and this is why the book that she wrote probably should not have been written at this time. The campaign that she's been on spreading information, I don't believe that it should have been done. I don't.
And so her writing this book and telling us all of these very personal things about him that, frankly, I'm a fan of Twitch and I didn't need to know. I don't know about her, but I didn't really need to know about all of this stuff. And for her to share all of these stories for profit, I think that's the problem that I have.
You know, she had his whole family, before they came to his viewing or his funeral, whatever the case is, she had his mother and his siblings, anybody close to him, sign an NDA before they could even attend the event.
What has been made about the NDA, that the family was asked to sign an NDA, to go to the funeral, to have the wake? What is your take about this NDA?
The NDA made my brother's life and experiences pretty much intellectual property.
Obviously his mother is not happy about that. That's her child. I understand that. There was also certain situations where they said that she changed her last name so quick on social media. She jumped into a new relationship. Like why is it the day of the funeral and she's cleaning out his closet and taking his stuff out? Like, why is she so quick on trying to erase this situation? And I just feel, in my personal opinion, like I said, she's angry. She's angry he made this decision. She's angry now that she's having to pick up the pieces on her own. But obviously she talked about the $1 million tax thing that she had to cover for him. And so she's having to pick up the pieces and find finances to be able to get herself out of, debt in these certain ways, as well as take care of her children and maintain their lifestyle. I believe, again, like I said, she's upset. However, the consensus of all the people on the internet and on social media are, you are exploiting this situation for financial gain. And if that's your husband who you loved, is that the right thing that you should be doing in this situation?
Because what do you mean that you went into his private journals you never read when he was alive? Because, there's like a sanctity in the vulnerability of somebody journaling. And you're using that content that he wrote in earnest for himself as a coping mechanism to talk about his addiction and his mental health crisis.
His mom has come out and said, our family is absolutely appalled by the misleading and hurtful claims made about my son, Stephen Boss. The recent publication spreading untruths about Stephen had crossed every line of decency. As his mother, I will not let these accusations go unanswered.
Okay, and again, I have to say it. The spouse that you choose, is very important that you watch all cues, right? You need to see how your spouse acts when they get angry, when they're upset, when things don't go their way, when you tell them no. You need to know all of those situations, because that is how they're going to maneuver in all aspects when they're upset, right? Even in this situation, she's upset. Maybe she's putting way too much information, divulging way too much of his intimate details in the book, because of her not thinking with maybe an empathetic place of mind. I don't know if that's the way she's thinking. I'm just saying, I didn't read the book, but according to all the people who did read the book and give information on TikTok, they said this lady was absolutely wrong. And based on the information I heard, I don't believe it was right either.
I have been trying to release all this anger this whole time. I thought, if you would have asked me 6 months ago, I thought I'd release all the anger out towards Stephen. And I'm now learning that you're always going to have triggers. There's always going to be a moment when I get really sad or really angry or have a new thing I find out and get really confused.
I think that, there has to be some level of secrecy, right? And privacy. And especially if you are in a relationship with your spouse and they are such a private person and people view them a certain way, I think that should be respected to the utmost, regardless of if they're here or not. My thought process in this situation is, if it was the other way around and she is the one who did that, I don't know if he would be maneuvering the same exact way that she is. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it would seem, based off of him being a private person and based off of him being a protective person, at least from what everybody around them is saying. Now, the thing is, I think that, you know, she's obviously in a space that she is between a rock and a hard place, and she does need to make money. I believe that maybe it would have been a better situation if she just exposed how to get through the ebbs and flows, or maybe how to, you know, find out how to navigate this new normal in her situation, how to cope, how to, you know, get through this. How maybe she could have got a TV show, right? We're giving TV show to Tia with divorce. You know, maybe she could have had a TV show in showing her trying to navigate her new normal, and maybe that would have been a different approach. I just believe that sometimes things can be done prematurely, and maybe if you're not in the right space and you're just doing it because you feel like you have to, I don't know if it's going to be received the same way. And again, I think that the wrong energy that people are receiving is maybe her anger. Right? Maybe she should have gotten through a little bit more of the process, and then maybe it would have been better received, because maybe she would have been in a better energy to tell her story or to assist others, not out of, I got to get money and I got to figure this out and I got to do these things, and this is now, you know, take it or leave it.
Steven left.
You know, a lot of other people were saying stuff about her moving on or whatever the case is and stuff like that. I just think that this is such a touchy situation. You know, this is somebody that she lived with and she was with for whatever time. Nobody can't really tell you. Okay, that has to be for you. There's some people who do move on. There's some people who never move on. I can't be the one to tell you. Okay, I can't be the one to tell you that. One thing I thought was interesting was that, you know, she tried to, you know, again, he has this bubbly image. He has this loving image. He has this warm image of who he is as a man. And, you know, she tried to now say that he was basically a junkie. Okay? She tried to paint him as a junkie. In the, you know, autopsy report, nothing ever stated that he had anything in his system. Okay? Let that be clear. Also, people decided to resurface a video of actually her in the airport and exuding, you know, certain, behaviors, basically that she was inebriated of some sort and was fighting with police.
You've been unconscious on your flight.
I am not unconscious.
You were. You were
Oh my
difficult to wake up. And we're just concerned about you.
Okay. No, babe. This is insane. I was not.
Can I talk to him?
No, take your hands. You cannot touch my phone. Weaker a month? What do you mean?
The simple things that we can establish that she is oriented enough to make rational decisions.
I'm on the phone with my husband. I clearly called my husband. I clearly made a rational decision. I was able to call my husband. I clearly know that Friday night I took a night run. No, you don't take my phone. No, don't take my phone from me. You don't. That was true. Oh my God, Steven, no.
So again, you know, this is leading people to believe that, you know, maybe she was the one who was not the most liked in social media, and he was the star, and now she's trying to tarnish his image and say, like, you know, it was really me behind this thing. I don't know.
What Manny Cross said. Dear Allison, you have lied for the last time on my brother. He was absolutely no addict. You will say and do anything for $1. You are the one that was messing with. I have all the proof. Every person who knew him knows you're lying and have been doing dirty crap for a long time. You're a toxic woman, and I truly believe he would still be alive had he not been married to you.
I don't know, guys. Again, my main point in this conversation is that it's very important that you are with somebody and in a relationship with somebody, and you guys have in-depth conversations about things, and that, you know, in all aspects that you are respectful of that person. And this goes to even the living as well, right? Like if you're in a marriage with somebody and you know that your man is somebody who does not expose his business like most men don't, and you are out there at work telling all his business, you out there on the job telling his business, you talking about him to your homegirls, you know, people at the work, at your job know more intimate details about his private life than he would actually like for people to know. You wrong. Don't do that. Okay, keep the same energy as if that person was around, and respect their space and respect their privacy. If your husband has something going on with his friends or his friend group, your friend group does not need to know about it. That has nothing to do with them. If your husband has family business that's going on and, you know, you somehow heard about it, you do not need to now give that information to your family. That's a need to know basis. Respect that person's autonomy, respect their privacy in all facets, whether near or far. But again, I'd like to know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I'd love to know your thoughts on this entire situation. Do you feel like she's wrong? Do you feel like she's not wrong? Do you understand where she's coming from? Do you feel like people don't have the right to have all of their opinions? Let me know your opinion in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you guys in the next one. Love you.